The Mazda 3 was last redesigned in 2019, but they did continue to update it throughout the years to keep it as one of the most desirable small sedans. Now, this is available in a hatchback, but unfortunately, there is no Mazda Speed Performance version anymore. New for 2024 on these Mazda 3s, you get blind spot monitoring standard across all trim levels. The Mazda 3 turbo models also get a 10.25-inch infotainment screen, and you get a new carbon edition with carbon specific colors. You have carbon specific trim, and you get the special terracotta interior. Now, if you didn't realize, the button for the trunk is right underneath here, but it is not powered. So looking down in here, you got about 13 cubic feet of space in here. Not huge, but decent. Underneath here, we have got a spare tire. Awesome Mazda, way to stick with the spare tires. You do have pull tabs to drop the seats in front of you. This Turbo Premium Plus all-wheel drive version comes with a 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder, 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. You also get a 6-speed automatic transmission with a 0 to 60 time of about 5.6 seconds. Actually really good for this car. Fuel economy is going to come in at 23 in the city, 32 on the highway, for an average of 27 miles per gallon. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, will you go down there, hit the subscribe button, because that helps me bring more cars like this beautiful Mazda 3 to you guys, let you see all about these new cars. So let's do that. Let's hit the subscribe button. Let's get more cars in here. All right, how about you join me inside? They have done a great job upscaling their interiors. On this side, you do have nice soft touch where your elbow sits. This is a nice soft touch leather. You do have nice soft touch right here. Also, you do have some compartments down here for your bottles. This is a harder plastic, and it's a little soft up here, but a little harder material. All right, we go to the seats. We do have powered seats with lumbar, which is awesome. These seats are really cool. They are pretty comfortable down here. You see how bolstered they are right here? That's gonna keep you planted in your seat when you're taking those tight corners. Up here, same thing. You got really tight bolstering right here to keep you in your seat. The problem that I had was this upper part right in here is poking me right in the middle of my back. So if you are broad-shouldered or a larger person, you might have a little discomfort in that area. I love the white leather going across there. It looks really good in the door panels with the black. And you go across here, you got the same thing across the dash. This is soft. This is a little bit harder, just like at the top of the doors. There's a glove box, and it is a decent size. At least the manual is not taking up the entire glove box. You got nice vents going across here. I like the look of this. It's just clean and simple. You come across here, you've got your 10.25-inch infotainment screen, your climate controls, and we'll go through that here in just a second. Let's get to this driver's display. Now, the driver's display is pretty cool. The center part is actually the only part that's digital. The other two are analog, which are fine. It works really well in this car. In the center of the center display, you do have a few little things that you can check out. So right now it's set on the driver information with your average mile per gallon. You can switch that to your driver assistance with a digital speedometer at the top. You can turn it off, and that's it. So not a whole lot of options, but there are some options there. On the left side over here, you have your tachometer, and on the right side, you have your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge. Now, next to the center, on this side, you do have your instant mile per gallon, and on the other side, you do have another gas tank gauge giving you your approximate miles you have left in your car. Those also can be changed to digital inside the infotainment screen. Panning back, we do look at the standard Mazda steering wheel. It's pretty much the same on every Mazda. On this side, you do have your cruise control. You have your adaptive settings right there. You do have your plus and minus with the resume, and down here is your driver assistance with your lane keep assist and lane centering. On the left side, you have your info button, which controls that center display, and then you have phone, track, skip on your stereo, and your volume. Pretty basic, pretty simple, very easy to use. Mazda is very good about laying things out and making things easy for everyone to use. Let's go over the infotainment screen. Now you can see that this is tucked down a little bit underneath here. And this is kind of my view right here. It looks like I'm losing half of it, but what I found out is that is actually not part of the screen. The screen actually starts here, goes down and straight across the bottom, so it does not interfere with it at all. Let's go through a few functions here. Now, this is a touchscreen only when you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Otherwise, using Mazda's system, it is not a touchscreen. You can see that it doesn't do anything. You have to use the scroll down here, this wheel, which is very simple and very easy to use. I've actually gotten you very used to using this on the Mazda systems. But you can turn it, you can push it left, right, you up, down, you can turn it. You can push it down to select things. Very easy, very simple to use. You do have some hotkeys down here. Also, you have a back button, your navigation, music, and home. So you can click that home button, and it is going to take us to here. Now I'm going to use this wheel, and we're going to scroll through some things. So up here, you have information. You got a fuel efficiency monitor, which is really cool, really nice feature to see. Go back to your menu, status, what's under our vehicle status, next service, maintenance details, that type of thing, which is nice. Go back out, go to your entertainment. That's where you're going to have your Sirius satellite radio, your stereo, your regular radio, that type of thing. Communication, you're going to communication, that's where you're going to set up your phone. Navigation. If you have the navigation set up on this car, then you will have that readily available. And then we'll go down to settings. Inside the settings, you have the vehicle displays that you can change a few things there. You've got the active driving display, which is your heads up display. If you can see that, you may not be able to see it real well, but it is over here. Then you can change the center display. There's a few different settings in there, brightness, contrast, that type of thing. And then the instrument cluster, you can change that and change those two gauges on the outside, your instant mile per gallon and your gas distance meter. You can change those to digital. You go down to your sound settings for your Bose stereo system. So they've got a lot of different things that you can do in there. Your bass, treble, fader, balance, Bose stereo system, Bose stereo mode. You can do standard or surround. You got center point and audio pilot, which will block out some of the outside noise. All right, we'll go back out. Safety settings. This is where you got your driver assistance features that you can adjust, your Mazda radar control, traffic sign recognition, speed limit sign alerts, and you can set that at, I think, 0, 3, 5, or 10 mile an hour so that it's not yelling at you every time you are speeding. Go out and you got safety alerts. So you got cross traffic, you've got lane departure, blind spot monitoring, and functions like that you can adjust. Collision avoidance, you can have lane keep assist system on or off, smart brake support, so it'll brake on to help you, and you can adjust all of those things there. Driver attention alert, you can have that on or off if you would like. That's nice that they give you that feature to shut off, because sometimes they are annoying. Parking sensors, so you can have your parking sensors on or off. You can adjust how sensitive they are. And a pedal misuse alert, so they don't want you to do a brake torque 0 to 60 launch in this car, because they don't want you pressing the brake and the accelerator at the same time. Not sure why, but apparently they feel they need to let you know that you are doing that. You have vehicle settings, so you got settings for your doors, your exterior lighting, interior lighting, rain sensing wipers, your turn signals, you can actually turn the volume down or up on your turn signals. I couldn't tell a whole lot of difference, but apparently it is there for a reason. Occupant comfort, you can have the seats automatically turn the heat on when it feels that you are too cold, and same with the steering wheel. Rear seat alert, if you have kids or animals, you'll want to have that on so you don't forget that they are back there. If you don't have kids or animals ever in your car, then you can just shut that off and not worry about it. Fuel lock delay is 90 seconds, so once you get out of your car to get gas, you have a minute and a half to open up your gas door, or it will lock on you and you have to get back in the car to unlock it. Connectivity settings is your Bluetooth settings, Wi-Fi settings, that type of thing. And then down here you have your system settings, which is going to give you Fahrenheit or Celsius, miles or kilometers, that type of thing. So, and you're setting your clock. For the Android Auto, you're going to press up on the dial, which will then try to connect you. We're not going to connect there. If you go back out, you can see that Apple CarPlay is down. So you'll push down on that. That will connect your Apple CarPlay. Moving down, we've got climate controls, which are nice because you have physical buttons for everything. So you do have auto climate control, and then you have any other buttons that you need to use there. You have a heated steering wheel, heated seats on both sides, power button, hazards. You can sync your system so they're the same on each side, and you have your engine start stop button right there. This is where I have a problem. So if you look at this, the way this is set up, this is your cell phone, wireless cell phone charger right here, and then you have two cup holders behind it. Now, if you put your cell phone up there and you're charging it, then you put your drinks in, and now your cell phone is hidden behind your drinks, and you can't get to your cell phone if you would need it. Maybe they did that on purpose so that you wouldn't get your cell phone out while you're driving, but to me, that feels really inconvenient. The other thing is that these cup holders are sitting right in front of the climate control. So if you have a normal size cup or bottle, it's fine. It will just come up to about right here and it won't affect anything. But if you have a taller one, it could impede in your usage of your climate control buttons. You have a drink that comes up to here, it's going to be sitting right in front of those controls. So I don't think that that is the best layout for that. We'll talk about a little bit more about that in just a second. So let's go on back. We do have a standard gear shifter, which is nice, and you can flip that into manual mode if you would want to. And you do have a sport mode, which is really nice, and we will test that out a little bit later. Electronic parking brake, auto hold. We already talked about the dial and all the hot buttons there. You do have a nice volume control right here, and I love the way that that is placed right here. So when you are driving down the road, then you can adjust your volume and you don't have to take your eyes off the road. You just know that's your volume and you turn it up and down. It's pretty nice. You can also mute and shut off the stereo with that button, or slide it sideways and you can change your tracks. You do have a favorites button that's right here that you can set up. This is where I'm going to talk about where I think these ought to go. So now you have this center console, and it's all the way up here closed and all that stuff. If you hold the handle, you can slide it back just a little bit, and that exposes some of your cords and your wires so that you can get to whatever you need to. You can pull that again and slide it back another section without opening it. So it makes it a little bit bigger, a little easier to grab some small little things right there. But pull the handle, then you can open it up. Now you can see that it's a good size in here. They do have this nice divider that comes out, and you can move it up here and split that off a little bit better if you would like. I like that. That is a nice feature. But instead of putting the cup holders way up here and blocking part of this area right here, why not put your cup holders right here? That way you can slide this forward and cover them up. If you need them, you can slide it back and you have your cup holders here. You're not blocking the cell phone holder right here. So these cords right here and these plugins right here, they could be put up here. So that, I think, is a better situation for this. So that's the only part that I don't like, that kind of is annoying to me. So you saw how nice it is in here and how easy it is to use everything in here. Now, here is the issue. I'm about 6 foot. This is a small sedan. So we're gonna go back there to the back and we're gonna see how well I fit back there. All right, let's see how this works out back here. I am about 6 foot tall and the driver's seat is in my driving position. Now you can see that I am pretty well smashed into the seat. Now if my knees go into the pocket here, it's not too bad on my knees, but I am kind of tight and compact in here. My headroom, I'm about a ½ an inch or so from touching the top. My hair is grazing it, but I have spiky hair. But as for my head, yeah, about ½ to ¾ of an inch. Anybody taller than me is probably gonna have a little bit of a problem back here. But how about you guys come inside here and we'll take a look at this back and I'll show you what else is going on in here. You see the door panel is similar to the front. You just have this nice white leather trim going across here, which is a very nice touch. And then you do have some bottle compartments right down here, your window switch, and that's it. Now, looking in here, of course, these seats look nice. The interior, I think, looks beautiful with this white and black. But what else is in here? What I don't see is I do not see any vents. There's no vents here in the center console. There's no vents on the door pillar or up above us anywhere. So no vents for the back, which is kind of disappointing, but you do have a center armrest with 2 cup holders in it, so at least you do get that. Again, to show you my knees, here are my knees smashed into this seat right here. It's okay, I guess. I could be okay for a few hours maybe. But yeah, I'm not going to be totally comfortable. I can't relax. I have to sit up straight completely. Now I'll flip this around and headroom, you can see my head is like into the roof. So that's where you're at. I think there's maybe a ½ inch up there before my head is actually on it, but my hair is fully into the roof. And I know my hair is kind of tall. Okay, so that is the inside and this tiny back seat area. So how about we go take this for a drive, hear how the engine sounds, how the exhaust sounds. Mazda always seems to tune their cars very, very well and have a nice clean sound to them. So I hope that's the case with this one. Pricing on the Mazda 3 is going to start with the base, and that's going to be a 2.5 liter S with 191 horsepower. You're going to come in at $24,170. Now, if you go to the Turbo Premium Plus, like this one right here, that's going to start out at $35,450. And our tester here, with the destination fee and all of the options included, comes in at $37,210. I've always been big fans of Mazda's sedans. We owned a Mazda 6 for a long time. We bought a 2014, the first year that they had that redesign. Loved the car, looked amazing, drove amazing, had it for lots of years. And getting into this Mazda 3, it just feels like I'm back in the Mazda 6, except for the fact of there's not enough room in the back. It is a smaller vehicle, but you know, it does still seem like I am driving that same Mazda 6. The way that it feels, the way that it performs, it's great. I really wish they would bring the Mazda 6 back. It is one of my and my wife's all-time favorites. This Mazda 3 is a lot of fun, actually. Now, I haven't driven the hatchback version, and I don't really prefer the look of the hatchback version, but this has been a lot of fun driving this car. Now, we are going to pop up here. We're going to do a 0 to 60, more to see how it sounds than to test how fast it is. It's supposed to be 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. I'll let you guys judge whether you feel that it does reach that or not. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in sport mode right now, and when we get a second of no one coming, I'm gonna hop up here and we'll do a little brake torque. It's probably gonna alert me and say, hey, stop doing that. We'll see what happens. Ready to go. Brake torque. Ready, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh yeah, it's actually got some good pop and good pickup. Nice, that's 60. That was really impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if it was faster than 5.6 seconds. That was awesome. Wow, and I really did like the sound. It sounded really good and tuned very, very well. That's one thing that Mazda likes to do with their vehicles. They actually like them to be tuned correctly. I mean, they were zoom zoom. That was their trademark for a long time, and they are zoom zoom. Let's go. I mean, we're sitting here and you press that throttle and it will push you back in your seat, and it does sound really, really good and refined. The driving dynamics are good. It is really tight. I really do like the way that it feels. It grips the road really well. There's not a lot of body sway. It just holds in very tight. Nice. Does have a heads-up display also, and it is very bright. You got green lights on there to let you know when you have your driver assistance features on and locked in. And then other than that, you've got your digital driver's display up there, and everything is really, really clear. Seat comfort. The bottom of the seat feels really good. The middle back of the seat feels really good, but the upper top part of this seat, where it feels like it is wedging together at the top, feels a little narrow to me. If you have some broader shoulders, or you are a larger person, this is really going to be pushing into your back, because right now it is pushing into my shoulder blades in the middle of my back, and it just is not that comfortable. It needs to be a little bit wider up at the top. And like I said earlier, everything else is nicely laid out except for those two cup holders and that cell phone charger situation right there. I think that is going to cause some problems with people with taller bottles, are going to block that climate control situation, and then you can't get your phone either. Go and click one of the videos that's on the screen right now. So one of them is one I put up there that I think you're going to like, and the other one is what YouTube thinks you're going to like. But either way, you should like them both, and I will see you in the next review. Wow, I really ought to keep my hands on the steering wheel. See you guys next time.